Solo Leveling Arise has so many characters and so many different artifacts that it's obviously extremely hard to manage it, but don't worry, I did it for you in today's video. I'm going to talk about all of the best artifact sets and recommended stats for every character currently in the game, and you're definitely not going to want to miss this. We spent a ton of time going over it, so make sure you watch every single second and subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new. Dude, this game is made by and for Gooners. Why is there jiggle on the Switch? Look at this. There's jiggle all the time, but why is there jiggle on the Switch? So anyways, jokes aside, the most important thing you need to know is that a lot of these characters are very versatile. There are a lot of different ways you can build several of these characters. There's not really a right or wrong depending on which content you're taking on, but I want to give you some quick hitter tips, things like that. So if the character is a damage dealing character, Libora is kind of a weird example because she's damage dealing / support. She's a little bit of a jack of all trades. Some characters are like that, but if the character is a damage dealing character, typically you would want to put the Burning Curse set on that character. If the character is a breaking character, whether they do decent damage or not, like Go does, again, Burning Greed is the recommended choice there. And if the character is a support character like Mei Lin, you're gonna do Burning Blessing. Ideally, in most pieces of content, you're gonna do 8 of the full 8 piece, but with Burning Curse in certain content, you can switch out the right side and then do left side Curse and then right side on the, again, damage dealer characters, then right side Expert. That's pretty much what most of it boils down to in this game. So if you're looking for a really quick answer, well, there you go. So let's talk about some of the more on the fringe stuff, and we'll start at the top, basically making our way down. Some of these guys have artifacts on, some of them don't. I typically shift my stuff around. I don't have too many great artifact sets, so I kind of just shift my stuff around. Burning Greed, I think it's pretty straightforward. I don't know that any set works great on him. I mean, there is some other stuff you could put on him if you wanted to. Like, you could do Warmonger left side. You could do a bunch of different things. The right side, there are some other options there. But again, just Burning Greed seems to fit on Breakers as a full set as my recommended piece. So there you go. And why Warmonger, though, is because he scales off of defense, and he does get extra damage from that. So that's one thing you could do. So with Amamiya Mirai, she's actually a fun damage-dealing character. You could go full 8-piece here. This is something I just auto put on. I didn't even bother there. By the way, I guess I'll cover recommended stats. So for him, it's going to be criticals and defense. That's mainly what you're looking for. You can look for defense penetration, but mainly criticals and defense. With her, actually, her primary stats actually MP-based stuff. You want to have as much MP, attack, and critical hit damage as my recommended. Oh, yeah, see, they have the same thing. That's what I think you should go for on her. So, the thing with her is that she could do a lot of different things. You could go, like I mentioned earlier, you can go Warmonger, you could go Armed, you could go Burning Curse 4-piece, right side Expert. You could do a lot of stuff. But one fun thing I really do like with her is the right side flexibility, because on the right side, she could do Expert. I like Expert on her. Also, I'm not really going to talk too much about some of these like ones that you could technically put on anybody, like Sylph's Blessing or the Viridescent set. You could kind of put those sets on pretty much anybody for what they're used for, and they would just work. But one that I really, really, really like on her is Outstanding Ability. There was some question, not from me, but from other people when I said this when she was new, about whether or not this was a good set for her. And I feel like this was made specifically for her, and I think it's pretty straightforward. I actually think this is an extremely strong set in general, because you'll find it's not hard to maintain a 25% when the user is at 40% or more of their maximum MP. You get 25% damage. That's extremely easy to do. And then when you dip, you have to do with her, you have to do a couple basics in there anyway. You get the cooldowns down, then you just kind of go up and down, up and down, up and down. And then ultimately she does a lot of damage. So it's not very hard to maintain that. I will stand by that. I do love this set on her. The damage is amazing. But if you're looking for alternatives, you don't want to build that, you don't have it, then again, Expert or 8-piece Curse. It just kind of depends on the piece of content you're taking on. And the reason why that is because Curse has that extra effect on it where it gets those bonuses based on the extra stacks of it. So here's a look at the Curse effect. So the user's damage dealt increases by 30%, and additionally increases damage dealt by 0.2 every 1 second, stacking up to 100 times. So that's where, you know, that kind of triggers. But again, Expert, it's just easier to fill on a lot of characters, and Expert gets a pretty substantial bonus too. So that's why a lot of people opt for that. All right, so on the piece with Dongsu, he's a fun one. I actually recently did a video for him. If you haven't seen it, when you finish this, Click on it, it'll pop up right on the screen. You'll be able to go straight to it. It was extremely fun using him. He's not all that bad, and he is definitely better than people think he is. And I do like him. It's just kind of hard to recommend him with, you know, the options we have for Wind all being better than him. So it's kind of weird. Really quick, I wanted to let you guys know I'm actually a double creator with Netmarble now. So I've got 2 support platforms that if you support me on either, actually, if you double dip, you should get double the rewards. I don't know if that's a thing yet. I guess we'll have to find out. But yeah, support me through the link in the description for the rewards I'm going to show you in a minute. But I now have 2 profiles. They'll both be down below. So keep that in mind. And here's a look at what you can get if you support me. So here's a look at some of the stuff we got last season that we're going to be expecting again this season. 1,000 Essence Stones, Mana Imbued Fragments, more Essence Stones here, gold and Essence Stones there. So currently I have 4,900 of this one that they've already given. They're asking me to submit another video to get the next batch of codes. So stay tuned for that. I'll be doing that video soon so I can get that submitted. And on top of that, if you guys want to get these rewards, all you have to do is support me down below. And within a day or 2, I will send these out to you. So keep that in mind. It's not instantaneous. I've got to go in and push the button to send it. But we got a lot of these. So make sure you support, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, my guild is looking for a couple members. Feel free to apply in the Discord. I have a channel for that. Anyway, back to the boy Dongsu. So like I said, I used him recently. I really like this set, ironically, on him. Warmonger was also good on the right side. I just really like this one, or left side, excuse me. But I really like this. In terms of him, because he's a damage dealer that wants to scale off of defense, he's kind of weird. There's not a lot of great stuff on the right side that you could put on him reasonably that like enhances damage. I mean, I was looking at stuff like Berserker, which is a solid one, I guess. He's kind of tanky, so I don't really love this. He can't use Executioner because it scales, it goes off of attack. There was just not a lot. Like you can use Executioner, but that's a small bonus of 20%. That's definitely power crept by the outstanding ability bonus. You could go full 8-piece curse. There just wasn't a lot that I really liked on him. Now, in terms of left side, if you're looking for more utility, you could do something like Destroyer. You could do Guardian. You could do all these other different sets, but I would just lean more towards the damage and put something like this on him. I like this a lot. Emma Laurent, full break set, pretty straightforward. That's all I'm really going to use on her. And again, just like Wu Jinchul, you could be flexible with it. You could do different things, but this is just, in my opinion, the best set for literally every piece of content they'd be used in. Every now and again, you may take off this right side and put on like Sylph's Blessing or something for like a guild fight, depending on what the character is. So she's an interesting one, by the way. I guess I need to remember to go over recommended stats. She scales off of HP, I believe, so it's going to be HP and criticals you're looking for. Fire damage, okay, whatever. The damage stat, like on that one piece, is always fine. Whatever the bracelet, right? Defense penetration is cool, but I'd actually go for crit damage. So she's kind of interesting because her primary is attack, yeah, but you want to actually get the defense penetration. So that attack and critical is what I would go for. Defense penetration is vital to her. All of your artifacts need to have it, so keep that in mind. In terms of her, she's another damage dealing character, so a lot of what I said earlier applies to her as well. You could go 8-piece here, you could go 4 and then 4 Executioner, not Executioner, excuse me, Expert. Outstanding ability is a fun one on her too. I think outstanding ability is like just kind of low-key really good on the right side for most characters. But yeah, you could do that. You could go armed left side, warmonger left side. You could do a lot of different things, so keep that in mind. So her Burning Blessing, I'm not really doing anything else, but if I were to do something else with her, Min, or with Meilin, it would be something like this. You could put on this new Angel in White set. I do like this piece. And then on the right side, I actually have this stuff on Min, so I guess I could show you in a minute. And then on the right side, you could do the Sylph if you wanted to do that. You could do Angel in White and then 4-piece Blessing. I don't really love 4-piece Blessing that much. I'd rather go 8, but you could do that if you wanted to. So keeping that in mind, with her, she's a support character. It kind of doesn't really matter. You could give her a healing given. You could do a lot of different things in terms of like what stat you're looking for. It doesn't really matter all that much, to be honest with you. So Alicia, she's a fun one. She has a lot of utility. She could, again, damage dealer, all the same stuff, curse, expert, all that. We've also kind of moved away from toughness. Toughness was one that was used a lot earlier, but I don't really love toughness anymore, unfortunately, so I haven't really recommended it once. But if you wanted to put toughness on any of these damage dealers, you could try that as well if you like it. But looking at her, she actually works pretty well with solid foundation for the extra core attack damage that works good on her. I think that that's usurped though. I need to see some recent calcs. I think that's usurped by some of these other more modern sets. At least I think at least some of these more modern sets are definitely edging it out in terms of damage. Like Warmonger is amazing, so I would recommend Warmonger probably. But you know, again, same situation. I think it's 4-piece curse, 4-piece expert on the right side. Otherwise 8-piece curse is what I would use. Moving on to Min, like I mentioned earlier, Burning Blessing or this is all I would really use on him. Shout out to Outstanding Connection, right? That older set that also could be used on the right side for these support characters. I'm not really using it anymore. There was an older left side piece that you could use for some of these guys too. This one, this works, I guess. Noble Sacrifice. Noble Sacrifice is okay on the characters that scale off of HP. It does give them damage and increases allies attack, so that's good. That would be something I would use on a character, again, that scales off of HP, but I'm not really leaning towards that one anymore either. She's kind of whatever. You could put something like this on her. I actually think this is just great for her utility. Call it a day with her. All right, so Cha Han. So same thing, damage dealer. I actually really liked Cha's toughness on the left side for the longest. Again, toughness isn't bad. I just think that it's kind of edged out a little bit. So I moved away from that, but you could do that if you wanted to. And expert on the right side. Expert is pretty much non-negotiable for pretty much everybody. If it wasn't clear, expert is just so strong if they scale off of attack. So it is what it is. That's what you're going to put on her. And it's, again, same thing like I mentioned with most of the other damage dealers in the game. Utility character doesn't really matter a ton. You could put Burning Greed on her. She's a breaker. Call it a day. Burning Greed here. Call it a day. You could do like a half. Actually, I think I had Solid Analysis. That's how old this guy is. You could do Solid Analysis and then Outstanding Connection is what I was using on the right side as a little bit of a support thing. I don't know that you need that anymore. I would just go full Greed if I'm being honest with you. Mireille, I'm pretty sure I talked about. Let's backtrack a little bit to talk about more stats. I keep forgetting to do that. Doesn't really matter here. Actually, it does kind of matter. Crit damage is the main thing because his ultimate scales off of his crit damage. So you want to have as much crit damage invested in your artifacts as possible. Here, kind of doesn't matter. She's not going to do damage with this set anyway, but you could go for crits and what is she? Attack scaler, I believe. Same thing here. Attack, crits. And here is attack, right? Attack breaker. I think she's an attack breaker. Yeah, attack breaker and crits again. Defense and crits. It's like extremely straightforward. I talked about her earlier. MP is the primary. So she scales off of HP, I believe. So you would want to have that as the primary, and then wouldn't you know it, we're looking at critical hit damage again and critical hit rate if you want that. Yeah, so it's really straightforward on which stat you're going for. She's another breaker. Burning Greed is awesome on her, so very straightforward. If I were to do anything else, I would probably still just do 4-piece on the left side. Could you do 4-piece Solid Analysis? Is that better than 4-piece Greed on the left side? I'd have to pull it up. 30% break effectiveness. What's left side? Burning Greed. Do I not have a Greed helmet? Oh, there it is. Critical. No, it's just better because you get the critical bonus. However, you don't get that. So, okay, so actually, if you're going to... So let me amend something. If you're looking for the character to specifically be a breaker, this one doesn't become as good at breaking until you have 8 pieces. So that's the value of Solid Analysis. If you're running full 8, then Solid Analysis, as far as I can tell, does nothing. But in terms of just using 4-piece, then yeah, sure. And if you were to do 4-piece, she's kind of, again, another character that scales off of some different stuff. I don't really think you should do anything other than just 8-piece Greed, for the record. Especially with her weapon and all that stuff. She should do a lot of damage with the crits and stuff. But you could look at Outstanding Ability on the right side as well. And or you could just go some support stuff. Once upon a time, it was Noble Sacrifice, left side, and Outstanding Connection for her and Emma. But we've moved past that. But if you wanted to do that, you can do it. It should still be effective, right? So again, Burning Greed. Primary stats here are going to be defense and criticals. Yeah, so like I said, extremely straightforward. HP, criticals. Attack here. So he's a fun one because he's got such a high attack speed that toughness was one that I liked on him a lot. I also really like Solid Foundation on him because he uses primarily his basic attacks a lot. But I think that Burning Curse or Warmonger is still the way to go here, especially if you've got critical investment like this one does. That's what you're looking for. And then on the right side's fun. The right side's fun because he actually is best with Berserker, because he's oftentimes existing below 70% life, despite the shield that I believe they gave him. Can you get more damage off this? No, so Berserker still has the highest damage threshold. He should still be low, because when he gets low, he's still at his strongest. I'd actually argue you don't want to run Warmonger on him because it gives him more bulk. You don't really want more bulk. You do, but you don't. He's a really weird character. So that's kind of what I would do for him. Attack and criticals are the primary. Critical bonuses and attack are the primary here. She's technically a crit-based damage dealer, but she's got that circle. She's got the summon. She's a little bit of a jack of all trades, like I mentioned earlier. I would actually just do, honestly, I like her as a damage dealer, but I think if I were using her alongside the two lolly girls, Charlotte and Harper, I would actually just make her a support character, if I'm being honest. If you've got a big Charlotte, the blue hair one, Charlotte, I think that's her. I would do that. If you don't have a big Charlotte, then you need this one to do the damage. I would put her as Burning Curse. I think I would just go full curse. I think full curse is what I would do. I'm trying to make this like really straightforward, but like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of options for these guys. Like you can do a lot of different things, but I'm trying to give you the best what I would recommend. And speaking of which, here's the blue-haired girl, Charlotte. Okay, I don't remember if I said that or not. All right, so let's get back to it. Maylin, doesn't matter what you give her. Healing given, go for it. Doesn't really matter. Critical hit rate, HP, sure, whatever, doesn't matter. So basically the same. Rewind, when we talk about Min, we talk about Hansemi. And that's pretty much the same thing. You can also do Outstanding Connection and Noble Sacrifice if you really wanted to, but whatever. So she is an attack scaler, so attack and critical. I don't believe she had any other effects in her kit. Damage increase. Oh, defense. That's right. She's a defense scaler. Defense and critical. Yeah, she was kind of... Defense damage dealers are kind of weird because they can't use Expert. They've got to use like Executioner, Berserker, Outstanding, or Curse. That's pretty much it. Those are the 4 options they have. Unless you're going to do, like I said, something else like, you know, Sylph's Blessing or Concentration of Firepower. Can concentration like is universal. Sylph's Blessing is universal. Like those are universal. They can be on most characters. But you would just typically opt for the damage. So what I would do is full curse. Full curse. Or, again, 4 and then Outstanding. Just like Dongsu earlier. So, yeah, defense scalers are kind of weird if they're damage dealers. You know what you can do? You know what's actually low-key kind of good here? I'd need to test this, but I would imagine one-hit kill is kind of good, right? No. You know what you would do here? If you wanted to run one-hit kill, it would be a 2-piece. Because you don't need the 4-piece because it does nothing for her. Because she has no cooldown, right? Because the cooldown is whenever she pops the basic phase 3 to get the ultimate back. So she has no actual cooldown. So that... Yeah, you could put 2-piece one-hit. If I were to do 2-piece one-hit, what would I do with it? 2-piece burning curse doesn't do anything, does it? It's like not a thing. I don't have a helmet. It's not a thing. Increase damage by 10% and then an additional 1. Okay, I guess it's a thing. I would probably just go Warmonger though. Just for the flat 4%, right? No, it feels like Burning Curse still peaks higher. And it's unfortunate that she's not an armed user because she's an attack base, or she's not an attack scaler. I would probably, I would actually sacrifice that 1% actually. Yeah, you could do that if you wanted to. I would probably, again, I'd probably keep it simple. Attack scaler, attack and criticals. So there you go. He's an attack breaker. So Burning Curse, keep it short and sweet. I also kind of like this guy as a Burning Blessing user because he's kind of crap. he's unless they buffed him again recently, I didn't see it. He's not good. So there's that. But if you wanted to use him, what you would do is you'd put Armed on him. I think Armed is his set for the defense bypass because he has no critical bonuses. So I think Armed is the set for the left side. And I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, you could do Warmonger. You could do Burning Curse as well if you really wanted to. But I think Armed is the set. And then right side, Outstanding or 4 Curse. You can do 4 Curse on the right side. You can do Armed and Curse actually, because Curse is versatile with either side flexibility. Yeah, maybe that's what I would do. I haven't really thought much about it because he doesn't have any critical, so like that is a thing. And when you have him, so here's where he's good. This is the situation he's good, is when he's higher up. So when he's higher up, you could make the argument that he's actually 4-piece one-hit kill because his last investment here gives him his ultimate. While the user is tagged out, the cooldown of End of Days passes 3 times faster. End of Days is the ultimate. Passes 3 times faster while he's on standby. And the user's power gauge charges by 0.8 every second, basically 1% per second. In team fight mode, the cooldown of the End of Days Rain of Flames and Flame Spear passes 2 times faster than the power gauge charges. So it's weaker. Team fight is where they split from you and they're doing their own thing. So ultimately, he becomes an ultimate spammer towards the end, and that's where his value is. But if you don't have that, you know, it's a little bit different. So if you do have that, I would argue one-hit kill or even Destroyer on the left side is really good. Well, I would do one-hit kill. I would do one-hit kill, 4-piece. Yeah, that's fine. And then Curse on the right side. So attack, defense penetration, fire damage. Damage increase is probably really good here. Damage increase is, yeah, see? Damage increase is always good, I guess. It's just not one I would throw a shout out to. And then lastly, for the SSRs, yeah, lastly is Harper here. She is HP criticals. Yeah, that's normal. She's a scaler for HP breaking, so you're going full burning greed on her. And so I'm going to rapid fire these SRs just in case you're wondering. But it's pretty straightforward based on what we've talked about so far. I'm not going to recommend their stats because just look at the button there. They're pretty accurate with that. Burning Greed. Burning Greed. Burning Blessing. Excuse me. Burning Curse. You could argue that like damage dealer SRs could probably just be Burning Blessing or like something like Sylph's Blessing or whatever. Like they're not going to do great damage. It just is what it is. I think he's a breaker, right? No, he's a damage dealer. He's a damage dealer. Yeah, he's a he is a breaker. I was right. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's a breaker. Well, guess what? Burning Blessing. God dang it. Burning Greed. Burning Curse. Burning Greed, I'm pretty sure. Burning Greed. Burning Curse. Burning Greed. Burning Curse. I think that's right. So that is every character currently in Solo Leveling Arise with each of their best artifact sets and recommended stats updated for the modern era, because I haven't done one of these in a while. But if you want to see a video like this for Sung Jinu, I did one of those recently, and you can find it on the screen now before you go while you hit that thumbs up button.